You just can't close your mouth. You just can't be sane, even when you do open your mouth. I think this girl does not deserve a feature-length film, but rather she deserves to be in a padded cell. I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
Rachel Zegler, she's an asshole.
You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up.
Spend 1 minute on Snow White and how it totally imploded at the box office this weekend.
I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
The star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public.
She just sounds bitter in it.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
She was, as woke as they are.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
Candace Owens just went ballistic on Snow White star Rachel Zegler, and honestly, she's not the only one. From arrogant interviews to woke rants and box office disaster, Zegler may have single-handedly nuked a Disney classic before it even hit theaters. Before we dive into how this fairy tale turned into a full-blown PR nightmare, hit that like button and subscribe if you're into deep dives like this, receipts, chaos, and no fluff. You're gonna want to see how this one ends.
These big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous. How dare you want to meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after? No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword.
It's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
Rachel Zegler was cast as the lead in Disney's live-action Snow White, but instead of embracing the role, she lit the legacy on fire. During press runs, she trashed the original 1937 film, mocked the love story, and even called Prince Charming a stalker.
You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Not exactly the charm you'd expect from a Disney princess. Candace Owens didn't hold back, calling Zegler insufferable and extraordinarily woke in a deranged way.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
They have been making this film for a very long time because it's just been so scandalized. And so they had to basically put it on ice after people were firstly outraged by Rachel Zegler speaking ill about the prior film, the film that she was remaking. And it's such a weird thing for their whole pitch as feminists to be is the best thing you can strive to be as a man. Everything will be great once we just act exactly like men. There's nothing special about being a woman. Let's just be men. It just doesn't feel like we're winning.
And she wasn't alone. Critics and fans alike slammed Zegler for sounding bitter, angry, and completely out of touch with the audience she was supposed to win over.
Fans accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
If Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Owens went even further, accusing Zegler of being unstable, ungrateful, and completely clueless about what made Snow White iconic in the first place.
And to constantly say things that are just atrocious because they're looking for attention and they can never have enough of it.
And let's be honest, every time Zegler opened her mouth, the internet liked her a little less. Then came the real punch to Disney's gut. Snow White flopped. Hard. With a budget north of $200 million, it only pulled in $43 million domestically on opening weekend. One of the worst openings for a Disney remake. Ouch. So what happened? Let's start with Zegler's interviews. Instead of hyping up the film, she boasted that the romance was scrapped, that Snow White wouldn't be dreaming about love, and even suggested cutting her co-star Andrew Burnap scenes altogether. Who does that? She didn't stop there. Zegler complained about her costume, said she should get extra pay for wearing it, and insisted the original storyline was creepy. Her entire attitude screamed too cool for this, and Disney fans weren't having it. Meanwhile, the controversy snowballed. Peter Dinklage criticized the casting of little people as dwarfs, calling it backwards. Disney panicked, scrapped the classic characters, and replaced them with random CGI blobs that looked like rejected video game extras. And guess who proudly backed the change? Yep, Zegler again, posting about moving past stereotypes like she'd personally saved the world. But real actors, especially little person actors, were furious. They called it a slap in the face. One even said, "We're not Peter Dinklage. We're trying to get by, and now even that's gone." The backlash hit like a freight train. Hashtag Not My Snow White trended. Fans vowed to boycott. PR experts were sweating bullets. Still, Zegler kept going. She took jabs at Trump supporters on Instagram, writing, "May you never know peace." She even added a rant about wet socks and burnt coffee just to twist the knife. What? Megyn Kelly tore into her on air. Candace Owens called her a walking disaster. And Disney? They postponed the film by a whole year, allegedly because Zegler had become too controversial to promote it. Some insiders even claimed execs wanted her gone, but filming was already done. Too late. When the movie finally dropped in 2025, it was a total bomb. Trailers flopped. CGI looked cheap. Theaters were empty. Critics called it a woke bore and slammed Zegler's performance as flat, forced, and completely charm-free. No magic. No heart. Just mess. Even worse, merch didn't move. Dwarf toys hit clearance. Audiences hated the new plot. Instead of enchantment, they got lectures. Now, Disney's staring down a potential $150 million loss, and Zegler's reputation is in tatters. One casting director said it plainly. She's talented, but nobody wants to work with a PR nightmare. And let's be real, this wasn't just about one movie bombing. It was about what happens when ego, entitlement, and a woke rebrand collide with nostalgia and storytelling that actually mattered. Disney tried to sell a feminist revolution in place of a fairy tale, and fans weren't buying it. From princess to PR disaster, Rachel Zegler turned a classic into chaos. And Disney? They're left holding the ashes. Want more celeb chaos, backlash, and behind-the-scenes drama? Hit subscribe because trust